Fire's open tournament. This is and with me tonight is Baxter,
Hello.
and away we go in 3, 2, 1, go. And we are on Antiga Shipyard, which blows my mind because our lesser blue Zerg Sert hasn't shown any tendency to pick this map, and he is spawning on the top right.
Oh yeah, Sert hates this map. And in the bottom left, we have Cartmanism, the Blue Terran.
Yeah, Cartman's he's a late entry into this tournament for Group B, but he's one of the first guys I remember coming into the chat. He was one of the first guys that ever said, you know what, like, I'll help you out, you want to get some practice games in, this, that, and the other. And when he came in and said, hey, I'd really like to take part in this, I said, you know what, everyone can play 2 more games. Go ahead. So now he's in. We saw him live last night with playing against our other newest player, Pacheco, in a really, really brutal series. I mean, really very interesting builds from the both of them. Very standard play, but very excellent control. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to seeing more Cartman and Pacheco in this series. And I think by now, pretty much everyone following the stream knows a little bit about Sert. I mean, he is the designer of all the graphics, all the good graphics you see, other than the time overlay. Everything else is Sert. So it's he's been a big part of the stream. He's been a positive member of the community, and it looks like he's going to be no shenanigans here. It's like he's just going to drone up. We're probably going to see a hash before pool because that's been his MO recently.
Yeah, Sert's going for the old 15 hatch, and you can afford to do this against Terran because by the time they walk at least a few Marines across the map, you'll have at least a spine crawler to defend.
Oh yeah, this is a very long rush distance when you're across positions like this, and it looks like Sert already had the scout, so.
Yeah, he sent that his first Overlord to close by air just to check him, and he sent drone cross position just to find out, get that scout information quick. You want to get to a Terran's base usually as fast as you can before they wall off against you, and you don't get any information.
It doesn't appear that he actually went up into the base, though. I mean, he has no vision of this at all. If you check Sert's vision, he didn't even see the front wall. So I'm really not sure what he did. If he just came up and turned around, and I mean, his scouting drone is still moving around the map. So
what some players do is they just click the mini-map, and what he might have thought he did was he might have thought he clicked in the base, but he just clicked on the outside, and it was just a misclick rally.
Yeah, it's very possible. But now we're going to see one. We have a gas out of Sert. We have looks like we have a tech timing on the gas from Cartman, who has shown that he does like the 1-1-1 build. I mean, he's opened up pretty much all of his matches with that 1-1-1 opening.
The 1-1-1 is definitely strong. I'd say it's stronger against Protoss than anything else because Zergs have those queens and Terrans have the missile turrets and or scans to drop down on the cloak banshees.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw Cartman put out a banshee, he didn't even opt for cloak. It was more of a, I'm just going to see if I can do some damage, and if I can, I'm going to do it, and if I can, I'm going to get out. I mean, unfortunately, that banshee ran itself directly into a missile turret or 2 from Pacheco. We'll see how he opens up against Zerg. I mean, this is something, it's a very versatile build. It isn't as economically focused as something like an early expo, like a 1-rack expo or something along those lines. But with Sert, it looks like he's going to be protecting himself blindly from Hellions. And his scouting Ling is just now getting to his base. He sees a starport. I mean,
that's going to be a big tell on. He knows that it's either going to be fast, Medivacs, or Cloak Banshee. And he throws down an Evo chamber, which he's just going to be safe. He doesn't know for sure, so he's going to get that Evo chamber, get those scores up, and just be ready for Cloak Banshee.
I mean,
he also has the Lings at the 2nd and 3rd just to check for the timing of those.
Yeah, and if you think about it, a half a supply, 25 minerals, for all that information is always worth it. And even if you're really lucky, you could use one of these to pick off the, if he tries to build it on the low ground, which he's obviously not, he's building it up in his base. But if he decided to build it on the low ground, sometimes that link can pick him off without the Terran player even noticing. Which I have to say, from experience, is super annoying.
Cartmanism is not opting for Cloak. He's just going to build a Banshee and send it out. I don't know if this is going to be a good call or not.
Well, the difference between a Cloaked Banshee and a Visible Banshee versus Zerg isn't all that great. I mean, if you notice that he does not have detection, oh, it looks like Sert is going to get a full scout with this Overlord. He's going to see everything.
And also, Sert saw the Banshee going cross map. The Banshee did intercept a Zergling, so Sert knows that the Banshee's coming, and he's about to hit his third.
Yeah, he's putting down 4 Spore Crawlers. I mean, he should be able to force a cancel on this third, because there really isn't anything he can get there in time. And there's no creep to put down a Spore. There's nothing he can really do about that. I mean, if he opts to just keep picking on it, then there really isn't a whole lot that Sert can do about it.
No, he's probably going to get... There goes the cancel, and the drone dies. Sert's going early Muta, 2-base Muta.
Yeah, he has that Spire on the way. He does have the Baneling Nest. By now he should have link speed, correct? No, he hasn't even started link speed.
Well, with fast 2-base Muta, you don't have the gas to spare even 100 on ling speed. Doesn't look like lings are going to be a factor. If you look, he only has 1 ling, so he doesn't need the ling speed. I think he's gonna focus on primarily getting those mutas out quickly as possible.
Now, do you think that's a response to the Banshee? Because I mean, you would think that if he had a Baneling Nest down already, that he would be looking to produce, Ling Baneling. And Sert's been typically a Ling Baneling Infestor player. Do you think that could have been a reaction to what he's seen from Cartman?
Well, he definitely... Lings and Banelings don't tend to look up when they see a Banshee. They kind of just, explode when they see one. So he might just be getting these for defense. He, all he's seen really is a barracks and a starport. So he's getting these mutas to maybe scout in the base. I'm not a Zerg expert. I have no idea. After early game Zerg, I'm kind of lost with what Zerg is doing. Against Terran anyway. But Sert's taking his third back, and the Banshee gets a cancel again, kills the drone, and this Banshee's just going to be patrolling the third, just waiting for him to try to take one. Just keeps denying him.
And that's an excellent maneuver. I mean, this is very smart. I mean, he knows that Sert can't do anything about this unless he walks Queens down on creep, or down off creep, but it looks like this harass is just all about over. These Banshees, they can't look up.
Those mutas are given away that now Cartman knows that they're here, and he's already started putting up missile turrets in his base. Let's see if he puts up any more.
He already has missile turrets up, and he already has his third completed and turned into an orbital. I mean, this is looking like Cartman is he knows he's ahead economically, because even base Terran and Zerg, it's a win-win for the Terran. But he's gonna have to cancel that reactor because the siege tank had nowhere to go. Talk about a frustrating scenario. I don't even think the siege tank's gonna be able to make it down the ramp with these 2 barracks he built on the bottom. He's gonna have to start organizing himself a little better. But look at all these racks in production for Cartman. I believe he saw that Muta and said, you know what? I'm gonna go with a heavy upgraded Marine force to combat this with siege tanks to clean up any of the lings that he may produce.
Yeah, right now Sert is behind drastically, and you can attest it all to just not having this third up. He doesn't have enough hatcheries to constantly be producing to keep up. But Terran has an incredible lead, considering Zerg always wants to be ahead in the army supply against any race.
And look how close the worker count is. We're looking at 61 workers for Cartman, our Terran player, and 62 for Sert, our Zerg player, with Cartman having a significant supply lead.
Sert did just warp in around the drones, but with the Terran mules, I mean, that's just going to equal each other out. They're going to be on even footing again. These mutas.
Yeah, we're getting the Muta, the first attempt for the Mutas to get in here and do some work, and it looks like Cartman's going to be content to just keep them at the front door. We'll see if Sert decides to go around back, but if he does, he's going to find out that Cartman is prepared with multiple cannons, or turrets. And it looks like both players are going to be supply block for a minute here. We'll see who breaks through the supply block first.
You see that in the center there? Sert's getting ballsy.
This is something very similar to the way that that Protoss likes to go with the DTs when they feel they're behind. On maps with unprotected gold, I feel like if you deny a third long enough, you can almost force a Zerg player to take the gold. And that's something I've seen. Maybe it's not as consistent as the DT thing, but it's definitely something I've been keeping an eye on, because it just seems like every race has their answer to, okay, am I going to how am I going to handle the situation I'm in? And it just seems like the Zerg answer is take the gold if it's unprotected. Looks like the siege tank may get picked off on its rally.
Nope. The Cartman did walk over to the map and deny this gold base, so Sert's gonna try to take a ninja expand over at his would-be 4th or 5th, depending on how he wanted to take his bases. And he does have a 4th already coming up over at the bottom middle.
This is a really scary spot for Sert. I mean, he's opting for the mutas, but now he's just got a bunch of banelings sitting on the ramp. I mean, this type of army, it's going to come down to whoever can to control their army best, because this is, one army counters the other depending on who has it.
He does have Baneley speed, and that's very helpful on creep. Cartman doesn't want to engage on creep. He wants to pull all these units back to his siege line.
He's doing the smart thing. He's slowly inching up. He's moving his tanks up. But unfortunately, he's going to have to bunch up just a little bit to pick off some of these mutas.
Here comes the engagement. Let's see. Oh, beautiful split from Cartman.
Yeah, that goes back to the old, you don't have to split at the last second. You can do a little bit of work ahead of time and end up way ahead. And that's exactly what we just saw. I mean, Sert decided, hey, it's time to break this position, and ran into a bunch of space, not so many units. These Marines are just going to annihilate this hatchery.
He's taking down the 3rd. I mean, honestly, I don't see Sert. Sert is really at a deficit right now.
He certainly is,
Great,
but he does have the units.
Hits.
These Marines on creep versus these banelings, and he's going to lose all those Marines. But is that going to be enough? There's still a lot of Marines where those came from.
The Sert does have a bank. He needs to throw down a macro hatch somewhere. He needs those larvae.
I know that what he's trying to do right now is get his larvae from expansions, but I think we're at that point where he's got to start thinking macro.
Oh, those banelings got wasted on the tanks. They targeted the tanks. They don't do anything to those armored units.
And he still has his he has a lot of drones going to that 3rd.
I think he's just stressed. I mean, you got a Terran army knocking at your door. What are you gonna do?
And another thing with Zerg is, like you said, he can't spend his money. He has 4,000, almost 4,000, 2,000 right now, and no way to spend it.
He does have some larvae at his natural, but I don't think that's going to help him right now. Oh, the devastation.
And here come the reinforcements.
Either 2-2 Marines, 1-0 tanks against 0 lings, Yeah,
this may have been a forgotten upgrade or two, or, just maybe the... yeah, a little uncharacteristic for Sert, I don't want to say that this was a terrible game, but it was definitely, with the pressure Cartman put on him early and the way he prevented him from ever establishing a real 3rd. I mean, if you look at the map at the end here, he never actually had a 3rd up. His sneaky 3rd, or his 4th, whatever you want to call it, never had a drone at it. He lost a lot of workers in the he lost 53 workers in that game.
You do not want to do that.
to a Zerg player that's coming in with Muta harass, to see a 0 under the workers kill tab is just everything you're doing is being countered. I mean, he had to be frustrated doing that.
Yeah, Zerg does not. I mean, Zerg is harassment. You can't just sit there, letting him build drones. Cartman did the right thing and just harass.
But there's a good demonstration of how a non-cloaked Banshee can really change a game. I mean, that Banshee is what kept. I believe wholeheartedly that Banshee taking out that third twice or forcing the cancel twice. Really changed this game. I mean, if Sert grabbed that third and was able to flood it with drones and start, put down maybe a macro in his base and start really. I mean, this wasn't an income game. This was more a mind game. This was more of a larva game than it was, income, because the income tabs. Well, at the end of the game, Sert was significantly behind, but he couldn't even spend it. He was only mining 540 minerals at a time, and he still had 4,700 in the bank. That's just crazy.
Yeah, the crutch of Zerg without larva, they're useless.
Oh yeah. But there we go. There you have it. Cartman takes game 1 at Antiga Shipyard.